Hi guys, I'm gonna be showing something real cool for you today. Using Zolika's trainer and GTA Connected, you can play single player story in GTA 4 with your friend. As you can see, the sync is actually pretty good. Here I'm driving the car using my second PC, and it's actually pretty smooth and playable. First things first, you're gonna make sure your game is version 1080. If it is 1070 or the complete edition, you can use a downgrader provided by the link in the description. I've used it. I've patched my game from 1070 to 1080, and after that I've got several additional menus in Zolika's trainer, so you have to do this too. Also, you need Grand Theft Auto Connected. You can download it from the link from the description too, and make sure you know how to use it, because I'm not gonna be explaining it in this video. There are plenty of tutorials in the internet already. So you need both GTA Connected client and a server, and also you have to open a port in your router. It's 22000. Or maybe you can use a different port, I don't know, but I've used this by default in the server configuration file. Default in server configuration file, you're gonna have this thing in resources. It states resource src free roam. You have to delete it first. Then you gonna add this one cvar name IV Coop value 1. Just paste it somewhere at the end of all the other CVARs. I did it and it worked. Also, I've turned on all the single player options here at the other CVARs, like ambulances, traffic, civilians, default pickup, single player, and so on. That's everything you can find basically. Then you should open a zmenuiv.ini and turn on every single player option in multiplayer as well. As you can see, single player cops in MP, it's 1, radar in MP is 1, single player run, and so on. And most importantly, you should check start as SV Cop client. It should be 1 as well. Also, check out game settings. Make sure you've got a pass to your 1080 XF Grand Theft Auto 4. And also, you should not have disabled story mode enabled, obviously, here. So if that's fine, then we click OK and we launch the game. Then just start your server, boot it up. Everything has to be green, otherwise I guess you did something wrong. Then you should see in client your server. Just click launch and a password if you got one, and wait for a game to load. So here I am connecting from the client, which is gonna be the host for my game. And if you've done everything's right and the scripts, you're gonna get this. So it states escape, left arrow, load game. You need this to load any single player save you've done in the multiplayer. So basically how it works, you have to press left arrow and then you see the load here. Make sure you pressed the left arrow, because if you are gonna press the game with your mouse, you're not gonna get this load menu. Alright, just make sure to press left arrow instead. Load your single player game, you have to first open Zolika's trainer menu by pressing an F7. Then you're gonna prepare some stuff. Just go to memory editing, multiplayer, single player coop menu, and here you've got quick start from save game. And if you press this button, server start, quick start, you're just gonna spawn in your apartment. Like, that's totally fine. We need this function to prevent the game from going into infinite loading screen while you're gonna load your game. So basically, how do I load my game? I press escape, then I press left arrow, go to game, press load, find my save, and after you press it and the loads begin, you should continue spamming the num5 button on your keyboard to make sure you press this quick start and the Zolika's menu strainer while it's getting loaded. So just look how I'm doing it. I'm just spawning this 5, and if everything is right, you're gonna load right in the game correctly. Okay, but as you can see, we've got a bug here. To be honest, I know only one way to fix it. To do this, I'm going to spawn player model, model list, and choose any other model. The trainer actually has the function for fixing ghosts, but it just don't work for me as it intended. It just crashes my game. I don't know why, but whatever, you can choose any model you want and play with it. I don't see any real problem with it. And as you can see, my phone is already working, my radar is already working, and actually the game looks fully like a single player campaign. And after that, you can go with your second PC and just connect to your server with a second player. Alright. As you can see, I'm done and it's working. I can walk and the first player is gonna see it fully synchronized. To have your saves and the multiplayer, you have to copy everything from your single player campaign, maybe you've made those previously, and paste it to separate GTA connected folder, and it stores every save made in multiplayer here by default. But if you don't have one, as I said, you can just copy your single player ones and paste it here, and it's still gonna work just fine. If you want to start a new game, instead of loading something, here things are gonna get a little bit trickier. So let's say we're gonna start a new game from this PC and have this notebook connected to it as a companion. What we have to do first, we have to launch a game with the second PC. Here I'm not on the server, as you can see, and here the game is getting loaded. Okay, so let's wait. Once the game is loaded here, you can connect the second player. Make sure the second PC is host on this game at this moment. We just needed to avoid another tricky bug. Since we loaded the second PC, we are going to multiplayer, single player co-op menu, and start new game with method 2. And what is happening is infinite loading screen, and that's fine. As you can see, the first player is now standing alone in his apartment, and this guy just went into infinite loading. So I'm just gonna press Alt F4 when it's happening, close the crash window, and OK. Once the game crashed on my notebook, after some time, the new host is now this PC. And after this happened, we are gonna go to multiplayer once again, single player co-op menu, and start a new game here, but now this time without method 2, with the first one. And magically, now it works. I have no idea why it is happening. And now I'm launching the game from my notebook once again. And here, as you can see, the first cutscene started. And alright, the single playing campaign is working. And this notebook is now loaded as second player 2. Actually, now it's day, not night. And the second guy is standing in the apartment waiting for us to arrive. So I've arrived here at the Nika's first apartment, and now you can play as it was intended if it was the original single player campaign. You can save your game anytime you want, at any slot, and load it like I showed at the beginning of this guide. Still, all the missions are working, phone is working, radar is working, cutscenes, and so on. And the second player is just like any other multiplayer companion. He can move, he can drive car, he can shoot, you can both battle with the police and stuff. But the only thing is absent, he actually cannot see cutscenes and your minimap. But for me, that's totally fine. At least it works. Also, what can happen is this second player, maybe you are not gonna get the ability to move. To fix this, you go to Misc, Fun, and turn on this free cutscene stuff. After that, you're gonna walk as it intended. Alright, so have a nice time playing Grand Theft Auto online with your friend with its amazing single player story.